All right guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Joe at Colab Garage. We're back on the new shop car Stagea project. So we just picked this thing up. I think we'll have a video that you could watch beforehand, just of us, going over the car and talking about it. But on my trip back home from Duncan Imports up in Nashville, Tennessee, I noticed that this thing had a little bit of an exhaust leak. We put it up in the air and we found that what's called, most of us would call the downpipe, is the front pipe coming off the twin turbos has a small leak at the flex joint, and it's driving me crazy. So I can't drive this car anymore until I fix that. I hate an exhaust leak on such a nice car. And it kind of stinks a little bit with the running on pump gas. So let's start the car up and I'll show you where this leak is coming from. So I'm going to move my microphone, and if you kind of go right here, you can see the soot, but it's coming right from that flex joint. But as you can see, it's fairly minor. It's going to be real easy to get this knocked out, get that leak fixed so we can go out and drive this thing and enjoy it. So let's get this thing off. All right, so Alex is sending the car up in the air. I figured I'd talk a little bit about the pipe that we're going to replace this with, because we're just keeping everything stock for now. Now, I know it's not going to stay stock forever. Probably not very long at all, to be honest. So, but this exhaust leak is driving me nuts. So we found HKS makes a front pipe for the factory twin turbos. You can just swap the part right out. It's a little bit bigger diameter, and it's set up to bolt on straight to the factory catalytic converter, or if you have an aftermarket cat, you can put it on there. We'll probably do something with that, but long term, we still haven't decided if we're gonna go twin turbo or single turbo. If we go single turbo, this thing's going to be a very lightly used front pipe that we'll probably try to sell on Facebook. But if we keep the twins, this will be a perfect replacement. So we're going to get the old one off. We'll put them next to each other, and we'll go from there. So we're just using a little bit of PB Blaster on the all the bolts. This car has extremely little rust for being 25 years old. This is why we picked this particular Autech. I looked at a couple different ones, but they weren't near the good condition as this, but those bolts have been on there for 25 years. So we're just going to let everything soak in a little bit of PB Blaster so we can not have to fight these things and hopefully not break any studs off in the turbo. If we do that, we might be here a little bit fixing those studs. I'd hit these. So our 5-minute install turned into a 20-minute install because Alex lost a bolt.
I blame that.
He's playing Operation right now.
Max tools don't have magnets. Max tools have 0
And
magnets.
see how he's like shining the flashlight right in my eyeballs, but he's looking this way. All right, let's get the pipe out of there. We'll be able to find it easier once it's out. All right, looks like
1, 2, 3, 4.
we just got to take this bracket. Those are look like 10s. Binded. That's not over yet.
It's actually nice to work in a really old car with
Minimal.
amounts of rust and dirt and crap in your eyes.
All right. Should be able to just run these bolts out the rest of the way and I'll hold this up. Oh yeah, there she is. It's completely gone. As you guys can see, this is going to be a pretty decent upgrade. That's pretty small diameter tubing compared to this. So I know that it's still going to be a restriction at the little turbo elbow, but where that's broken, I knew I wasn't going to be able to just fix it. So that's why we went ahead and got the HKS piece to replace it. It says they don't work with anything but stock turbos. So it's like, why? I'm pretty stoked on this thing. There really is no rust. Other than like little bull that you would expect to see, even on like a couple-year-old car. All right, so we got the pipe off. Now, the factory downpipe doesn't use a gasket. It just has a receiver ring on the pipe that fits into this. So all we're gonna do is take a scraper and just make sure that there's no like carbon buildup right here for when the new gaskets from HKS go on. We just want it to have a good opportunity to seal. You see, we're just scraping off just a little bit of that buildup there. Probably that 90-degree one. All right. They got an air gun over here. Just below that real quick gasket already. Well, the little bolts are going to be for that.
The big ones.
Big ones should thread in here into this cat. Let me see. Let's get a little, yep, a little bit of anti-seize too, just so we can easily take it back apart. right, take 3. We had to take this brace off. We were able to remove the factory front pipe with the brace in. It was very tight, but this is significantly larger. So we had to remove that. I think we should be able to get this in. We have the gaskets in place. We put anti-seize on all the nuts and the bolts so we don't have to worry about them rusting on and getting stuck. So we'll slip this sucker in there. Oop, drop that gasket. That gasket fell down.
They like ambushed them. That's the trailer. So.
We're on there enough?
Yeah.
Well, before we tighten any of that, we need to get this piece together. So let me make sure. I think this is how this goes. I think this is intended to, assuming. But this could be where it's different. I don't know why you have to use that. I don't remember, was this on the back side of the cat or the front side? All right, so we've got the pipe in, and from the factory, it's braced off of the front pipe to this little bracket on the side of the transmission. But HKS applies their own much beefier bracket with a couple different hole options. So the only thing that's a little bit in question, I'm assuming this is for R32 through 34, like the various options that it could be. This lines up perfectly. This is a little bit of a stretch. You know, it might be just enough different on a Stagea that it's not going to line up exactly. So we're going to try to get the HKS one on here. But if not, this bracket still fits good, and we'll just put this one back on. So get this bracket through those holes. Let's get it all kind of loosely in place. All right, and then HKS supplies new hardware to go into the catalytic converter. We've already got a little bit of anti-seize on that and a new gasket. More of a struggle than it should have been. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's good. All right, go ahead and tighten up the All right, guys, so top tip, after we install exhaust, you can kind of see little fingerprints and everything just from us handling it. If you don't want those permanently baked into your exhaust, you should wipe it down with some type of a cleaner. I like to use acetone, but something that works really well on stainless steel and titanium is Simple Green. So either one of those will work well. Just get all the stuff off the pipe, even though this is on the bottom of the car. If you want it to look good when you start it up, you don't have all your fingerprints all over it, just give it a little bit of a wipe down first. All right, guys, everything fit up pretty well. I was questioning whether or not this HKS bracket that goes to the little side mount for the transmission was going to fit up right, but as soon as we tightened everything up, squared right up, everything fit perfect. We were able to put the factory catalytic converter heat shield back on. Now we probably are going to upgrade that to the HKS catalytic converter, just because this thing, it's 25 years old. Now the chassis only has 60,000 miles on it, but that's right about the time a catalytic converter starts to lose a lot of its efficiency when you get that kind of mileage on the car. And as much as everyone says, just get rid of it, we're gonna run pump gas in this quite often, so I don't wanna have to smell that. So everything fits really well. I mean, what do you expect? It's HKS, it's a high quality product. So all we gotta do now is start it up and see if we fixed our leak. Going up. All right, guys, leak's fixed. And I think the way this is designed, it's going to give us a little bit better exhaust note, because the way they designed this is to make these a little more equal length than the factory ones. So only thing left to do is get this thing on the ground and finally be able to enjoy this thing without an exhaust leak, and then we'll be on to our next set of modifications. All right, we're done with this project. That's a quick, simple, easy one. But if you ever wondered if the HKS front pipe fits on a Stagea, it definitely does. So next, we're gonna enjoy the car for a little bit, and then we gotta do some other little maintenance things from the time we picked the car up. I guess this is fairly common for Japanese imported cars. Like, they'll take the tires off and put winter tires on for some reason. I don't know, maybe there's harder to get performance tires in Japan. Put in the comments below if you know why people do that. So we gotta get these winter tires off. We're gonna keep these GTR wheels on it for a little bit because it looks pretty good. It's got a Blitz, has Blitz coilovers on it. So the stance, everything's already kind of set up perfect. It's one of the other reasons why this car was already tastefully modded. Very little mods, but tastefully done. The other thing we gotta fix on this car is the door hinge. I don't know if you can see that. The hinge is worn out, so the door doesn't close very clean. That's a simple fix. And then on the front bumper, there's just a little bit of damage from when they got it off the boat. There's a little crack down in here that we're gonna have our paint and body guy fix. Super easy to fix. And then that's really gonna be it. So there's a lot more coming with this car. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next video.